The morning sun bathed the Bodhi tree in golden light, casting gentle shadows that danced upon the earth. Buddha sat serenely beneath the tree, his presence radiating calmness to all who gathered near. Disciples surrounded Buddha, seeking wisdom and solace in his teachings of compassion and mindfulness. Buddha gazed into the distance, his face reflecting unshakable peace, unmarred by the worries that consumed others. I approached Buddha hesitantly, my heart burdened by anxiety about an uncertain future. Thoughts of impending challenges and unknown outcomes clouded my mind, leaving me restless and uneasy. The disciples leaned closer, the simplicity and depth of his words drawing them in like a soft melody. These reflections are not the self but mere shadows, impermanent and insubstantial, Buddha continued, each word resonating like a temple bell. I lowered my gaze, ashamed of my vulnerability before this enlightened master. Buddha, I fear the unknown, the choices I must make, and the uncertainty that awaits me, I confessed, my voice trembling. Buddha listened intently, his gaze filled with understanding and kindness as though peering into my innermost thoughts. You carry the weight of countless tomorrows, forgetting the treasures of today. Buddha responded gently. How can I let go of fear and embrace the present? I asked, desperate for guidance to still my tumultuous heart. Buddha smiled, his eyes crinkling at the corners as wisdom poured forth from his lips like a clear spring. Anxiety about the future stems from our attachment to outcomes we cannot control, Buddha said. Buddha reached for a fallen lotus flower. Its petals spread wide, displaying its fleeting beauty. He held it tenderly. See this lotus, unburdened by tomorrow or yesterday, Buddha remarked, his voice soft and filled with reverence. The disciples leaned in, captivated by the simplicity of the flower and the depth of his words. The lotus roots itself firmly in the mud, drawing nourishment without resistance, Buddha continued, his fingers tracing its delicate petals. It blossoms fully in its present. Knowing impermanence gives rise to renewal and growth, Buddha explained with infinite patience. I studied the lotus flower, seeking to grasp the profound lesson it embodied. The device is not the problem, Buddha said. It is attachment to it that chains the mind in suffering. A gentle wind stirred the branches above, the rustling leaves echoing the subtle power of his words. The mind, when unanchored, wanders like a restless breeze, chasing shadows of what might be, Buddha said. Learn to quiet your mind by embracing the present. For the present is the gateway to peace and wisdom, Buddha taught. Buddha closed his eyes briefly and inhaled deeply, his presence growing more serene with each breath. His tranquility seemed to envelop the disciples, calming their restless energy. You fear the future because you cling to the illusion of permanence. Nothing lasts forever, Buddha spoke with conviction. The impermanence of life should not bring sorrow but understanding that change paves the way for transformation, Buddha explained. What seems certain now may dissolve like morning mist under the rising sun, Buddha said. Instead of fearing the unknown, find joy in the boundless possibilities life offers each moment, Buddha suggested kindly. His teachings resonated deeply with me, stirring fragments of hope and clarity within my troubled mind. Still your thoughts as a lake mirrors the sky when undisturbed, Buddha said. Let peace settle upon your spirit like dew upon the grass, refreshing you in the here and now, Buddha remarked. Buddha gestured to the other disciples, whose anxiety also seemed to dissipate under the warmth of his wisdom. Anxiety is the shadow cast by a wandering mind. Anchor it to the present, Buddha said. I felt his words gently nudging my mind towards simplicity and calmness. Where worry began to wane, Buddha beckoned me to rise and follow him along the path leading away from the Bodhi tree. As we walked, Buddha paused near a bubbling stream that mirrored the sunlight upon its surface. Observe this stream flowing freely, unafraid of its destination. Trusting the earth to guide its path, Buddha remarked. The stream gurgled cheerfully, unhindered by obstacles or the weight of self-doubt, gliding past stones and roots. Life, much like this stream, carries us along its course. Trust its flow, Buddha said. But Buddha, how do we find trust amidst uncertainty and hardship? I questioned, hoping for clarity to banish lingering unease. Each moment is a teacher, the Buddha said. If we are willing to listen with open hearts and minds, the sun climbed higher, casting shimmering patterns of light upon the water and the attentive faces of the disciples. His disciples gathered closer as Buddha continued his teachings, his voice as steady as the stream beside him. Worry about the future separates us from its gifts. Instead, walk forward with an open heart, Buddha advised. Anxiety may visit like an unwelcome guest, yet let it pass without clinging to its company, Buddha said. You have the power to choose presence over fear, mindfulness over apprehension, Buddha declared with assurance. Guide your child not with fear of the future but with the love that blooms within the present moment. Satala asked softly, but my son resents my absence, and his words are bitter. His heart estranged. The sunlight faded, casting shadows upon the path as Buddha led us back to the sacred Bodhi tree. Each step felt lighter, as though Buddha's wisdom had lifted the weight of worry from my heart. Tomorrow remains unknown, yet today unfolds with boundless possibilities, Buddha reminded us all. Let wisdom guide you like the stars illuminating the night. Let peace dwell in your hearts, Buddha said. Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree again, his presence a beacon of light to those seeking tranquility. I closed my eyes, surrendering my fear of the future to the present's gentle embrace. The gentle breeze rustled leaves upon the Bodhi tree, carrying whispers of Buddha's timeless teachings to all who sought them. Buddha's voice, rooted in profound understanding, echoed in my heart, giving rise to a newfound sense of courage. In his presence, I learned to root myself in today and let tomorrow arrive unbidden. Another day. The sun rose softly, painting the sky in delicate hues, as Buddha and his disciples entered a lively marketplace. We appreciate fully by understanding its impermanence, the Buddha said, knowing that beauty is not diminished by its eventual passing. Just then, the bowl slipped from his hands, falling to the ground and shattering into countless shards. The merchant sat slumped beside his empty stall, his hands trembling as he buried his face in despair. Buddha approached him gently, his presence bringing an aura of calmness that seemed to momentarily soften the merchant's anguish. What troubles you, kind man? Buddha asked, his voice tender and inviting trust. The merchant hesitated before speaking, his words laden with sorrow and vulnerability. My business has failed, and my family faces hunger and hardship, he confessed with tears flowing freely. I fear for their future and mine, uncertain of what lies ahead or how to overcome this despair. Mourning is not wrong, he replied, but it should not bind us, for clinging to loss creates endless suffering. The potter, still standing nearby, spoke up, but master, I feel pain seeing my creation destroyed. The merchant paused, struggling to articulate the profound unease consuming his heart and mind. I fear the unknown, the uncertainty of whether I can provide for my family or face further failure, the merchant admitted. This bowl, the Buddha continued, was always destined to return to the earth, as are all things born into this world. He gestured to the tree above them, its branches stretching skyward, its roots anchored deeply into the soil. Do you see the journey of these grains of sand, carried here by winds and waters from distant lands? Buddha asked. The merchant nodded, his gaze fixed on the tiny particles scattered on the ground before them. Each grain traveled without knowing its destination, trusting the earth to carry it, Buddha remarked. The disciples gathered closer, their curiosity piqued by Buddha's interaction with the grieving merchant. Impermanence shapes all existence. From the smallest grain to the grandest mountain, Buddha declared, his voice steady and serene. Life flows like a river, changing with each moment, resisting neither joy nor sorrow, he added. The potter, his spirit lighter, bowed deeply and said, "Thank you, Master. I see now that my work remains valuable. Peace arises from accepting impermanence. For it is the nature of existence itself," Buddha explained, clinging to what is lost or fearing. What is unknown keeps you chained to suffering, Buddha continued with calm conviction. Does this understanding of impermanence not make life more precious, more meaningful in its fleeting nature? He asked his disciples. The disciples considered his question, their hearts stirred by the profound simplicity of his wisdom. Do not fear what is to come. Instead, embrace the present with courage and mindfulness, Buddha advised. He gestured to the marketplace around them, bustling with life and the rhythm of daily activities. Observe how the marketplace evolves with each passing moment. An endless dance of change, Buddha remarked, in the face of failure. There lies the seed of renewal. If tended with patience and wisdom, Buddha assured. The Buddha smiled. Exactly. Start by recognizing that fear is but a shadow, a creation of the wandering mind, Buddha explained. Let go of the shadow by grounding yourself in the present, where the seeds of action are sown, he encouraged. Buddha extended his hand to the merchant, helping him rise from his place of despair. Together, Buddha and the merchant walked through the marketplace, observing the interconnected lives of people and their surroundings. Every face here carries its story of struggle, joy, and impermanence, Buddha noted, his voice imbued with gentle empathy. Yet they persevere, finding strength in their shared humanity, he added. The merchant watched the bustling scene with new eyes, his heart softening as he recognized the resilience of those around him. Am I capable of such strength, Buddha? He asked, his tone a mixture of doubt and yearning. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude for the lesson and the unfolding journey of understanding. As they departed, the shattered bowl remained a silent testament to the art of embracing life's inevitable changes. Another day, as dawn broke over the plains, the Buddha and his disciples journeyed toward a small farming village. They encountered a farmer, struggling to lift a heavy sack of grain, his face lined with effort and frustration. Buddha led the merchant and his disciples to a nearby riverbank, where the water flowed gracefully over smooth stones. Observe the river, which moves ever forward without resistance, adapting to the landscape it traverses, Buddha remarked. Reluctantly, he nodded, allowing the Buddha and Ananda to lift the sack together and place it onto the cart. The farmer sighed with relief and gratitude, bowing to the Buddha, who acknowledged him with a kind, understanding smile. It trusts the journey, knowing it is part of a greater cycle of renewal and transformation, he added. The merchant knelt by the river, feeling its cool waters course through his fingers. Let the river teach you to move forward, unburdened by fear or attachment, Buddha suggested. Flow with the current of life, accepting its twists and turns with grace and courage, he advised. The merchant closed his eyes, allowing the sound of the river to soothe his weary spirit. The disciples joined the merchant in meditation, their breaths synchronized with the gentle rhythm of the flowing water. Carrying responsibility is natural, the Buddha replied, but carrying it with the illusion of soul control creates unnecessary suffering. The Buddha picked up a handful of soil, letting the grains slip through his fingers as the disciples watched. As the sun reached its zenith, Buddha and his followers prepared to return to the marketplace, their spirits renewed. Remember, impermanence is not your adversary. It is your teacher and companion, Buddha said. Control binds us to the false belief that we are isolated, separate from the greater web of life, the Buddha continued. How do we let go of this illusion, Master? One disciple asked, his voice filled with earnest curiosity. "Thank you for showing me the path." "Buddha," he said, his voice filled with newfound resolve, "I will strive to embrace impermanence and flow with the current of life," he pledged. Buddha smiled, his expression a mixture of pride and encouragement, as he turned to address his disciples. "Carry this lesson with you. For impermanence touches all aspects of existence," Buddha said. "Vulnerability is not weakness," the Buddha replied, his voice steady. "It is the strength to embrace life as it truly is." A bird sang in the distance, its melody weaving into the moment, underscoring the simplicity and beauty of the lesson. The merchant returned to his stall, ready to rebuild his life with newfound understanding and determination. The marketplace hummed with life, its vibrant energy a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Buddha walked among his disciples, his presence a beacon of compassion and wisdom, guiding them forward with each step. The sun began its descent, casting golden hues upon the land as Buddha's teachings resonated deeply within all who heard them. Each step felt like a new beginning, a chance to embrace the beauty of impermanence. Another day, Buddha and his disciples arrived at a village struck by famine, its inhabitants weary and desperate for survival. The air was heavy with sorrow, carrying the cries of children and the silent anguish of their elders. Buddha walked calmly through the village, his presence bringing a faint glimmer of hope. A frail woman approached Buddha, her eyes hollow from hunger, clutching a cloth bundle tightly against her chest. "Please, Buddha," she implored, her voice trembling with despair. "How will we endure this? The future feels dark and uncertain for us all." Buddha stopped before her, his gaze filled with profound compassion, acknowledging the depth of her suffering. "You feel isolated in your despair. Yet this is the moment to find strength through the bonds of community," Buddha said. The disciples leaned closer, their eyes attentive to Buddha's wisdom unfolding amidst the tragedy. A small crowd gathered, the villagers seeking solace and answers from the enlightened master standing among them. "Each of you carries within you a spark of compassion that can transform fear into unity," Buddha spoke. "To let go of control is to trust in this tapestry," the Buddha said. "To see ourselves as part of the whole." One disciple, hesitant, asked, "Master, how do we balance our own efforts with this trust in interconnectedness?" "Effort and trust are not opposites," the Buddha replied. "They are companions, each enriching and supporting the other. Offer what you can, even if it seems insignificant. For collective effort transcends individual limitations," Buddha encouraged. The villagers hesitated, doubt flickering across their faces as they contemplated their dire circumstances. The frail woman approached first, unwrapping her bundle to reveal a handful of rice grains, precious amidst the scarcity. Her trembling hands placed the grains into the bowl, setting an example of courage and selflessness. Others followed her lead, contributing morsels, water, and comforting words with hesitant hope. The bowl filled gradually, reflecting the interconnectedness that Buddha spoke of, drawing strength from each offering. Observe how shared compassion transforms despair into resilience, binding your spirits through mutual support, Buddha said, his voice a beacon of encouragement. The villagers began to feel less isolated, their unity rekindling a faint sense of hope. Buddha gestured to a young man standing nearby, his eyes clouded with doubt and uncertainty about his future. "You fear what lies ahead. Yet fear dissolves when trust in interconnectedness guides your path," Buddha spoke gently. The young man stepped forward, placing a cup of water into the bowl, his burden lighter. "Interconnectedness reveals that you do not face challenges alone. Your strength lies in supporting and being supported," Buddha explained. He walked among the villagers, acknowledging their contributions with gratitude and encouragement. His presence seemed to dissolve the despair shrouding the village, illuminating the potential of unity. Buddha turned to his disciples, addressing them with unwavering wisdom as the villagers listened closely. Anxiety isolates us, convincing us that survival is an individual battle. But interconnectedness shows us the power of collective strength, Buddha said. Embrace this truth, for it transforms fear into courage and uncertainty into shared hope, he added. The disciples joined the villagers, offering their own resources and comfort to strengthen the collective effort unfolding before them. Buddha smiled faintly, his expression reflecting quiet pride as compassion blossomed amidst adversity. Together, even faint lights can dispel darkness, illuminating paths where none seem to exist, Buddha said. The frail woman approached Buddha once more, her face now reflecting hope, though her circumstances remained uncertain. Your teachings remind us that we are not alone, even in our deepest despair, she said with heartfelt gratitude. Buddha nodded, his gaze warm and reassuring, acknowledging her courage. The strength of a community lies not in its wealth but in its willingness to uplift one another, Buddha remarked. By embracing interconnectedness, you find resilience, even when challenges seem insurmountable, Buddha emphasized, his words soft yet powerful. The villagers shared glances, their spirits lifted by the profound wisdom shared. Buddha turned to the bowl filled with offerings, lifting it to show the transformation achieved through shared effort. This bowl holds more than sustenance. It holds the spirit of unity, carrying you through these trials, Buddha explained. His disciples marveled at the simplicity yet profound impact of his teachings. As the sun dipped below the horizon, its golden hues bathing the village in light, Buddha prepared to depart. He addressed the villagers once more, his voice gentle yet resolute, instilling courage within their hearts. Hold fast to this lesson, for interconnectedness sustains and guides you through the uncertainties of life, Buddha said. The villagers bowed deeply, their gratitude shining through their weary yet hopeful faces as they bid farewell. Buddha turned to his disciples, whose own spirits seemed renewed by the wisdom they had witnessed. Remember this truth, for life unfolds best when shared with compassion and understanding, Buddha reminded them. The disciples followed Buddha along the winding path out of the village, their steps lighter and hearts filled with clarity. One disciple gazed at the horizon, her eyes shimmering with tears of clarity. Master, I feel both small and infinite. The Buddha nodded, his gaze tender, his words wrapping around the profound expression of her insight in interconnected existence. Individuality ceases yet flourishes. Buddha walked ahead, his presence unwavering, a guiding light through life's impermanence. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.